Hello, let's do the New York Times Medium Sudoku for May 29th, 2024. There's a link in the description if you'd like to try the puzzle yourself. Using the same Sudoku pad software I do, I've been getting questions like, how do I do this in the New York Times software? The techniques I use often do require more notation ability. So your options are to print it out and do it on paper, or to use the Sudoku pad software I have. There are other online solvers as well, but if you just look in the description, there is a link to solve it with the same software that I do. It is completely free. And so we are all very grateful to Sven for creating Sven's Sudoku pad, which is an excellent Sudoku solving tool, and making it free with only like his optional Patreon and things like that. So anyway, I thought I'd make that clear. Also, I want to say that yesterday's video, I spent over an hour on the puzzle, really breaking things down and explaining things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep that linked in the description, and you can reference that. If I do something that you're not sure, you're like, I don't quite get that logic, I'm going to start going a little bit faster with these medium solves because I've just been spending too much time on them every day. I just don't have enough hours in the day for all the content I make, trying to figure out what I can reduce. So that video should serve as a nice like evergreen tutorial on the techniques I use. And then I will just mention here when I do things that may not have been mentioned in that tutorial or maybe would deserve reinforcement. That said, I'm going to still go a little bit slower than on my hards to make it a little bit easier for you to follow along. So again, I'm happy for any feedback that people have. I'm very thankful to all the positive feedback I've gotten so far. And yeah, so let's get started. So we always start by scanning the bands and then the stacks. And we're scanning for things that are very specific to being able to focus on the bands themselves. So the first thing we look for is duplicate digits. So I'm going to start with this 1, 6 here. We're going to look for another 1 or 6 in the band. We do have another 6. So these 6s look into the box like this, removing 6 from all of these cells. And the 3 and the 4 are occupying 2 of the cells that could have been 6. So what we have here is a hidden single 6 in box 3. We can place the 6 here because there needs to be a 6 in the box, and this is the only place for it. Now we just have to compare 3, 4, 5 against here. We have the 4 and the 5 duplicated. So we're going to do the same thing. These 4s look in. Now we can't place the 4, but we have reduced it to these 3 cells. So we're going to use corner marks to remember that 4 was reduced to these 3 cells within this box. And again, if you're not sure about the notation I'm using and what it means, do reference the video linked in the description that I did yesterday. So we have all of these 5s looking into this box, and that means that this is the only cell that can be 5 in the box. In fact, whenever you have 4 of a digit, basically whenever you have all of the digits placed in the band and the stack other than the one box, you have 4 digits looking to the box, it's always going to be placeable. If there's only going to be 1 cell left, you'll always have a hidden single in the remaining box. Okay. So that was the 4 and the 5. That's very nice. That's it for the repeated digits. Now we do have this filled box row. So I'm going to take an extra close look at these 2 rows over here, and I'm going to look for any digits that aren't yet placed in this box. So we don't care about 4, 5s, and 6s. So the 9 is the only digit. That 9 does look in, this 9 looks up. And because these are filled with non-9s, it does mean that there's a 9 in one of these 2 cells. Now this is going to do something called pointing, and I'll take a second to explain that one again because I think it's really important to understand. It's one of the more advanced techniques that you're going to need to do when solving the New York Times puzzles. So in this box, we have determined that 9 is either here or here. And this does what's called pointing, because if you were to draw a line between these 9s, you could put like an arrowhead here, and it would point at the rest of the row. And what's it saying? It's saying no more 9s. Because in this row, the 9 is over here, because the box needs the 9 to be in this row. Wherever the 9 ends up, it will be in row 2. And so therefore, the 9 is not over here. So if the 9 isn't in these 3 cells, and this 9 looks in saying not these 3 cells, and these 2 digits aren't 9, then we can place the 9. We have a hidden single 9 there. Now what we've done is we filled this up as well. So of these digits, what is new for this box? Just the 4, but we already have the 4 corner mark. But you can see that it does the same thing that we already had. All right, so we got this 1, 5. We got the 5 and the 9 placed here. That's very nice. We got the 6 placed. There's only 2 digits remaining for this row. So it's good to think about what those are. It's the 2 digits that aren't listed already. So it's the 2 and the 7. And so now I'm looking around for 2s and 7s that might help out. I'm looking at the columns pretty much is the only thing that could help. We're not seeing any 2s or 7s. So what we're going to do is we're going to center mark them instead. So I'm going to use center marks for 2, 7. And what this is telling us is that each of these individual cells, this cell here, it's the digit that's going to go in that cell is going to be a 2 or a 7. Same thing here. So that's what the center marks mean. And now because the 2 and 7 are here, that means these 2 digits are the other 2 digits that are missing from the box. Specifically the 1 and the 3. Now I am seeing this 3 here. So this 3 looks in, this 3 looks in. You can actually see that this is the only place for 3 in the box. So this ends up being the 3. And then this digit is whatever is left. It's the 1. And now we want to look at this 3 and 1. We want to reevaluate our band. So this 1 is a new digit for this box that had the filled box row. So this 1 looks in. So there's a 1 in one of these 3. I'd also had this buddy here if you want to do that instead. We also have this 3 and this 3 looking in. And so 3 ends up down here. Okay, additionally, this row is down to 4 open cells. So we want to at least think about what those are. What are the 4 digits? And it's going to be 2, 3, 7, 8. I'm looking for 2s, 3s, 7s, and 8s. Now I know that these can't be 3. There's a 3 in the box. So, and the 2 and the 7 are also helping. But if I just put in 2, 7, 8, I can then clean up the 2, clean up the 7, and we end up with some very restricted cells here, 2, 8, and 7, 8. Now over here, this cell can't be 2. So this one is down to 3, 7, 8. Anytime a cell is down to 3 or fewer digits, I am willing to center mark it. This is all of 2, 3, 7, 8 though, so we are not going to mark that up. Okay, now we've thoroughly finished this band. I mean, there might be more to find, but I don't think so. So we're going to move on to this next band here. We're going to repeat that. So we have the 4 and the 7. We don't have any 4s or 7s over here. So we also have the 2, 3, and 9. So of that, the 2 and the 9 are repeated. So we have the 2s looking in here. This 2 looks up. That places this 2. Now when we do that, when we place a digit, we want to scan its row, column, and box for any markings we have that might involve a 2. In this case, we do find that this involved the 2. So this can't actually be a 2 anymore because it can't repeat in the column. And so now there's only 1 digit left that this cell can be. So that's called a naked single. So we can place the 8. Now that makes this a naked single 7. And that makes this a naked single 3. And now this, it's technically called a full house, but you can also call it a naked or hidden single 2. Basically, it's the last digit for the row. So we place it. It's a 2. All right, now that we've updated this band, we want to do more with it. And my recommendation at this point is just fill this triple and this triple. This is going to be a triple because the box needs only 3 more digits. I'm going to get rid of the corner mark there, and we're just going to fill 4, 7, 8 here. And then this is going to be 1, 2, and 9. And we can see that we have 2 2s looking in. So actually the 2 gets placed here as a hidden single, and then we're left with a 1, 9 pair. So this band got even more out of that just from finding the single 2 here, which is great. So we have the 2. Now remember, we also had the 9. These 9s look in. That's going to place the 9 here. That 9 resolves this 1, 9 pair. Doesn't help the band anymore, so we don't need to follow up. We never have to follow up with this band anymore other than just resolving this pair and triple that's left. Very, very nice. Okay, so that was all the repeated digits for this band because we looked for the 4, 7. We looked for the 2, 3, 9. We're done. So now what we want to do is, do we have any filled box rows? Yes, we do. This is filled. So we want to look at all of these digits. We don't care about empty cells. We don't care about 2, 4, 7, 9. So the 2s and the 9s, no good, but we have the 3 and the 6. I'll take them one at a time. This 3 looks in, this 3 looks down. 3's in one of these 2. This 6 looks in, this 6 looks down. The 6 can be placed. Very nice. Okay, that's all the filled box rows. So the next thing is rows or boxes down to 4 or fewer cells. So let's start with this box. What do we need? We need the 1, 3, 5, and 8. And I'm looking for 1s, 3s, 5s, 8s all over the place, right? In the stack and in the band. In the stack and in the band. Now I know that we have all of those digits up here. This box is finished. So let's just take them one at a time. The 1 can only be, I'm going to start center marking just because I know I'm going to want all these cells center marked. Probably. So we need the 1. We also need the 3. We already marked the 3's in one of these 2. We also need the 5. So we're looking for 5s. This one can't be 5. That's all we get though. So 5's over here. And then we need the 8. This 8 looks down. And so that means the 8 is only in one of these 2. And so if the 8's in one of these 2, we can actually corner mark that. And that means that these 8's do point. So the 8's are saying none of these can be 8 anymore. So we want to see if there's any useful deduction from that. And I'm not seeing anything yet. Other than that, we know these aren't 3 or 8. So we'll think about that row later, though. It's not really worth thinking about right now because we haven't finished our initial scan. So I'm going to finish this row here, which has 4 open cells as well. We need 1, 5, 7, 8. The 5 here is telling us 5's not over here. So these are down to 1, 7, 8, already worth marking, center marking, because it's down to 3. This is, I believe, all of 1, 5, 7, 8, so we're not going to mark it up. And I think that does it for this band. I don't think there's much more to look at right now. So now we'll look at this final band. There's not much going on. We have this 5 and 4, which are not repeated over here. Yeah, there's really nothing to scan for this band in our initial pass, so we're just gonna move on. So now we're gonna do this stack. We do the same thing for stacks that we did with bands. We have all 3 of our 5s. Almost said all 5 of our 5s. We have all 3 of our 5s here. So now we just look for 2, 6, and 9. We have the 2, 6, and 9, so those will all be helpful. The 2s look down. This 2 looks in. So 2's in one of these 2 cells. We have the 6's looking down, so 6 is here. And we have the 9's looking down, and this 9 looks in, so 9 is here. So we got the 2, 6, and 9 marked. Very nice. No filled box columns. Any columns or boxes down to 4 or fewer? Actually, we don't. We don't have that. So I think that's all we're going to find here for now. Let's move on to the next band. We have this 4. It does have a buddy up here, and this one. So 4 is in one of these 2. We also have 2, 3, and 9. So the 3 and the 9 do have buddies. The 2 3's look down, putting a 3 down here. And the 2 9's look down. This 9 looks in. That places this 9. Now, that removes this corner mark 9, meaning we can place the 9 in this box, because now there's only one corner mark 9 left, meaning we have a hidden single 9. That did remove a corner mark 6, but there's still 2 places for 6. All right, make sure we follow up on that as well, but I don't think there's anything to see. Yeah, this still has 5 open cells. Okay. So we got the 9, the 3 and the 9. Is there anything else to notice here? No other repeats. These are all filled, but it's not super helpful because looking at filled box columns just helps you fill out the box more that it's in. I am seeing that this column is down to 4 open cells, and so is this column. Let's just do them left to right. So we'll start with this column here. What do we need in this column? We need a 2, 6, 7, 8. 2, 6, 7, 8. Well, I'm seeing this can't be 2 or 6. So this is down to 7, 8 only. This can't be 7, so it's 2. Oh, it can't be 2 or 7. So this is 6, 8. I think this can be any of 2, 6, 7, 8, unfortunately. So we can't do anything with that. Now this column, we need a 1, 3, 5, and 7. Now I'm seeing this 7 here and this 7 here. So for this column, the 7 is in one of these 2 cells. And I'm actually safe corner marking that because both of those cells are both in this box. So the result of that is that this is called claiming. Because the 7 is either here or here for the column, that's also where it is in the box, so the rest of the box cannot be 7. So that means this cell actually isn't 7, leaving just 2, 6, 8. And now look, where does 7 go? Oh no, I guess 7 goes in 2 places in this column. I misscanned it. I got very excited about that for a second. But unfortunately, there are still 2 places. I thought we could place the 7, but we can't. So never mind about that part. But we have the 3, 7 down here, which means this is not 3 or 7. So it's the other 2 digits. It's the 1 and the... What did I say? 1 and 5, I think? No, not 5. Oh, actually, yes, 5. Hold on. What were the digits we needed here? 1, 3, 5, 7? Yeah, this can't be 3, 5, or 7. So this is a naked single 1 because it can't be any other digit. So it is only the 1. And that does leave 3, 5, 7 down here. This one's not a 5. This one's not a 7. All right. With the 3, 5, 7 triple, that removes 3, 5, and 7 from the rest of this box. So there are 4 open cells left in the box, assuming we sort of treat this 3, 5, 7 as resolved. Because it doesn't matter how it resolves. So we're left with 1, 2, 6, 8. And I'm looking to see if there's any restrictions. What we do know is the 1 in this box is in one of these 3. In fact, this one we placed causes that buddy down here. We could have done that. Otherwise, it is just 1, 2, 6, 8. So I'm not going to mark it. I'm noticing this is not 1, 2, or 6. So it's not 4 either. So I think this cell's restricted. I'm just going to look at it real quick. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4. It could be 5. It's not 6. I think it could be 7. Is it 8? It could be 8 as well. It's not 9. Oh, that's a lot. Okay, 5, 7, 8. I guess we could have, yeah, we could have seen that from the row as well. Oh, well, I thought it was more restricted than that, but it's not. Okay, I think we don't get anything else out of this stack, but that was quite nice, especially getting this triple here. Now we're going to look at this stack here. We have the 2, 7, and 9. 2, 7, and 9 are completely done in the stack. So we just care about the 4 and the 6. So these two 4s look down. This 4 looks in. That places this 4. Following up on that, we do have two 4s in this band now, putting a 4 down here. I don't think there's any other follow-ups for the band. So we also had the 6s looking down, putting a 6 in one of these two. Okay, and now we have this column, which is down to 1, 6, 8. We can just fill that. We didn't learn anything new. This is 1, 3, 5. We can fill that, although we didn't learn anything new. And this is 3, 5, 8. This can't be a 5. Okay, got something. Yeah, not super helpful, but it's filled out now. All right, so we finished our first pass on the bands and the stacks, and we did not finish the puzzle. So what we need to do is we need to go box by box and look to make sure we didn't miss anything that might have been more subtle, that maybe involves both the rows and the columns at once, both the band and the stack at once. So these boxes we already know everything about. So we're going to skip to this box here. So we're going to think about things like how this 5 and 9 are missing a row, right? So we want to think about digits that look in here. So for example, we know we have these pointing 3s. And I actually did not follow up on that. So let's do that now. So we have this 3 looking in. We have these pointing 3s looking in. And we have this 3 looking down. So actually 3 in this box is a hidden single here. So I probably could have seen that earlier. When we marked these 3s, I didn't follow up with this buddy 3. So I should have done that earlier. This 3 we can follow up with the stack, putting a 3 down here somewhere. Also, this column is now down to 4 open cells, so we need 1, 4, 7, 8. That's worth marking because I am seeing the 4 and the 7 here, so we can clean that up a little bit. Okay, with that, this box is now down to 1, 4, 7, 8. We know the 4 is in one of these two cells. This can't be 1, so this is 4, 7, 8. And when I mark that, I am noticing things like we have this 7, 8 here as well. Oh, we have the 8s pointing, and I completely ignored that too. So yeah, these pointing 3s and 8s I completely didn't use. So the pointing 8s are also very, very helpful. The 8 is in one of these two, which means it affects this row. So that has to be the 7. That makes this the 2 and the 7. I think that's all I was missing, really. That's not a 7, that's not a 7. And this also can't be an 8 because of the pointing 8s. So this is a naked single 4. That places this 4. This also can't be a 4. This is now 1, 7, 8, can't be a 1 or a 7. So this is a naked 8, giving us the 6 here, giving us the 8, giving us the 3. Very nice. That places the 3 in this box. Also gives us the 7 here. This can't be a 3 anymore. We can clean up these 8s, we can clean up this 8. Okay. This 1, 7 pair is telling us, basically if you think about it, where's the 8 in the row, and now where's the 5 in the row. That gives us the 8 and the 1. This is the 1, this is the 5. These are not 1s. This 5 gives us the 3 and the 5. I told you that was all we needed. That's not a 3. That places the 3 here. We have enough markings that I think it finishes the puzzle for us. This is 6, 7, 8. Can't be the 7 or the 8. So this is 6. I was looking at the row. That's 8 and 6. That's 7. This is not 6. That places the 6 in this box. The 7 resolves the 1, 7, which resolves our triple up here as well. This cell, look at the row or the box. It should be the same digit. It's the 5. All right, this is the 4 for this box. For this column, we need a 1. That places this 1. This is 2 for the row. This is 2 for the box. This is 8, and we're done. All right, so I hope that pace was okay. If there was anything I used and you're like, I don't know what that means, definitely watch the video linked in the description where I go over everything you need to know in terms of how I approach these solves. So I'm happy for any feedback, and of course, if you enjoyed it, then why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.